Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Skye and today we're doing a first impressions, swatches and a look with the Sugarpill Fun Size Too palette. Now as soon as this was sneak peeked, y'all knew that I had to get my hands on it because if you don't know, the original Fun Size palette is my favourite palette in my collection. Yeah, it's been my favourite in my collection for about a year now, and I absolutely love it. This is what mine looks like. I don't know if you're going to be able to see all the dips that I have on camera, but this is a very well-loved palette in my collection, so as soon as Sugarpill mentioned that they were going to do a sequel, I had to jump on it. Full disclaimer, I did buy this palette before my no-buy, so don't worry, I didn't break my rules. But this is the outside of the palette. It has the beautiful little cat on the front, the same cat as the original right here. And Turkey is drinking a little boba tea and it's adorable. This is what the back looks like. Absolutely adorable. And one detail that I really enjoy on the top here, is it backwards for you? Yes, it is. Right here in holographic lettering, it says Portable Entertainment System because the Fun Size palette is themed after video games. And like, that speaks to me so much. I do call myself a gamer. I hate that sounds really cringy out loud, but yes, I love video games, and it's just adorable. And then this is the inside of the palette. There's a beautiful heart-shaped mirror with little health hearts at the top, and it says level up your makeup in holographic lettering there. This is an all matte 9-pan palette, and I really love Sugarpill's matte formula. I've never tried their shimmers before, but their matte formula is so good. And apparently I believe they said that they didn't reformulate their formula for this, but a lot of people have said that this palette is better than the original, so I'm here to put it to the test. And also for comparison's sake, I will hold up the two palettes next to each other. So these are what the palettes look side by side. Now, I don't believe there are any dupes in either palette, not that I can see. Maybe this shade and this shade may look similar, but this shade is darker. But they complement each other really nicely. I can't wait to like do looks and use both of these palettes at the same time because I think they would really work well together. But yes, we're gonna be playing with this one, and before we do that, let's swatch it out. Now I find that Sugarpill eyeshadows don't swatch the best, and I also found that the ones in this palette, if you swatch them, especially Continue and High Score, these two would get hard pans, so I don't normally swatch this palette, but we're gonna do swatches of this one. And I haven't even touched this palette. This is the first time that we're gonna be playing with this today. So the first shade that we have is called Power Up, and this is like a light pastel yellow. That's Power Up swatched. I'm gonna build up that swatch a little bit. That does build up nicely. And just looking at the pan right now as I'm dipping back in, it doesn't appear to be hard panning. I'm just gonna even it out on this side right here. I will be building up these swatches so you can see the color well. That is a nice yellow. I'm gonna be using that shade today. The next shade is called Grind, and this is a nice khaki green. This green actually reminds me a lot of my friend Kay, Basket Case Beauty. Like, they love these kinds of colors, and anytime I see colors like this, I just think of my friend. So pretty. I love me some good swampy greens, little olivey tones. And that is really nice. Swatching really nicely as well. Definitely, I can already tell you it's swatching better than the original. The next shade is called Button Mash, and this is a teal matte. All of these are matte. I don't know why I'm specifying that. And that is Button Mash. Definitely swatches the best out of the three so far. And I think the most powdery of the three. That is gorgeous. Such a messy swatch, I do apologize. I apologize that my finger is stained a little bit, but this next shade is called Loading, and this is a peachy pink. That's Loading. It's more peach than anything, but it does have a bit of pink in there. I really want to use that shade today. Super pretty. I can imagine that being a really beautiful blush shade. Like, it looks kind of similar to the blush that I'm wearing today. The next shade is called Elixir, and this is a periwinkle blue. And that's Elixir. Yeah, these mattes feel a lot more smooth than the original Fun Size. The original Fun Size, the mattes felt a little bit drier. These feel slightly more smooth and creamy. I still like the original Fun Size, obviously it's my favourite palette in my collection, but I'm really glad that they've, like, you know, perfected it a bit more with the sequel. This shade is called Final Boss, and this is more of like an indigo blue. It's definitely got more of a purple undertone. That's Final Boss. These shades are always a little bit of a nightmare to swatch because they are like that cool purple. But that is really nice. Moving on to the final row, this shade is called Player 2, and this is a peachy coral. That's Player 2. Very, very smooth. Look at that. I do like that Sugarpill's shadows. Like, they're pigmented, but not super pigmented right off the bat. The penultimate shade, this is Double Jump, and this is a bubblegum pink. I'm really sorry that my finger is super stained, but that is Double Jump. I love a good pink. That is really pretty. There's a good mix of, like, warm and cool tones in here. I like that it's not all, like, one note, you know? That's a very pretty pink. And the final shade in the palette, this is Critical Hit, and this is a berry. Very curious to see how this... Oh my goodness. That is smooth. So smooth. Yeah, the deeper mattes in here, the ones that are less pastel, definitely swatch better. But that is the palette all swatched out on my arm. That looks beautiful. I really love this color story. Like, it's rainbow without being like a classic rainbow palette. It's bright, it's fun, it's got some unique tones in here. Now, looking at the swatches and then looking at the first one, I will swatch Cheat Code and 8-Bit because I feel like those two shades look similar to these two. I don't think they'll be dupes, but Cheat Code is on the top and 8-Bit is on the bottom. So next to those, I'm gonna swatch Elixir and Final Boss from Fun Size Too. Apologies for the dodgy swatch, but that is Elixir and that is Final Boss. All these shades are different. This shade from the original Fun Size, 8-Bit, it's one of my favorite shades actually. It's a lighter version of Final Boss, and Final Boss is a bit more like brighter and more purple toned. But all four of those are different to me. I believe those are the only shades that I can see like similarities to. I will swatch Rage Quit from the original next to Double Jump, because those are two pinky shades, and maybe Critical Hit as well. So out of the pinks, the top one is Rage Quit from the original Fun Size, and then this is Double Jump, and this is Critical Hit from the second one. Again, no dupes here. Critical Hit is more berry toned and Rage Quit is more pink, so I think they're different. And also I'll swatch Level Up, which is the other pink shade. Level Up is next to the top swatch there. Again, all pretty different. And now, just for funsies, I'm gonna swatch Continue next to Power Up. So out of the two yellows, Continue is on top and Power Up is on the bottom. Continue is more of like a mustardy shade, whereas Power Up is more of like a traditional pastel yellow. And I believe that's all of the similarities. I would swatch like the peaches in this palette next to like the orange and the red, but like they are very, very different, so I don't think it'll be worth swatching them. But yes, I hope those comparisons were handy for you, and now let's do a look with Fun Size Too. I'm really, really excited. I'm definitely gonna use some of the peaches and the yellow today, maybe a bit of the blues. Okay, I've zoomed y'all in a little bit closer so we can get on to doing the eye look. And like I mentioned, I think I'm gonna be using mainly these three shades and this blue today. I've already done my base makeup, as we can see. I haven't done my highlight or freckles though, but I'll do those later. First things first, we're gonna be priming with my Milani eyeshadow primer. I need to buy a new one of this eye primer because I am running super low. All right, I'm first gonna dip into the shade Continue and I'm gonna fluff that in my crease. This brush is stained pink, but it'll do. It'll do. Okay, let's see how this goes. I usually like to tap on my shadow first and then blend. I like to do a mix of those two motions. it is retaining its yellowness, because I find sometimes pastel yellows, you can like pack them on, but then as soon as you blend them, they don't look yellow anymore. But this one is staying. And I'm not gonna wing this out, I'm just gonna keep it a bit more round. Normally I like to do a winged shadow look, but today I'm just gonna keep it simple. And I'm gonna run a little bit of that on my lower lash line. I might do a blue inner corner. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Also, let me know, have y'all picked up this palette? Is on your wish list? I'm curious, and I will be doing a 3 looks 1 palette plus review with it. So keep your eyes peeled for that sometime in October. Okay, that's looking really nice. The yellow, it is a pastel yellow, so I mean, naturally it's gonna look super light. I do wish it was slightly a bit more bright, because as much as I do love a good pastel, I think yellow is one of those shades that it needs to be a bit more, it has to have a bit more like brightness to it, because otherwise it's just gonna look super, super, super pale. But I'm happy with that, I am happy with that. I'm now going to go into the shade Loading and just kind of put that all over my lid and into my crease. So I think, do I have a packing brush that's somewhat clean? This one's a more fluffier packing brush, so I'm gonna use that. Oh, that showed up really nicely. And I am tapping this on, I'm not like swiping it. Just to get maximum color payoff. But that is applying over itself really, really well. Just gonna take that and run it on my lower lash line as well with the same brush. Okay, and I'm gonna take my original brush with a little bit of Loading and just blend things together a bit more. I can imagine using this shade as a really pretty blush. I'm now gonna go in with Player 2. And I'm gonna take that on a more dense packing brush. I'm just gonna kind of pat over that as well. Oh, I really like this shade. I'm kind of like layering where I put that Loading shade. I don't think I needed to put that all over my lid. I just kind of wanted to have a playtime. Then on my lower lash line, it is lifting a little bit. I don't know if you can see right there. Maybe because I layered on too much powder. Not a big fan of that. Gonna take a bit of that first yellow and blend out the edges. It's so weird, why is it lifting? I think I applied too much powders. And my base is no longer tacky. Because I do find that happens to me with the original palette if I layer too much, and I don't know why I did that today. Yeah, nothing's really layering on this area, and it's just kind of getting a bit patchy. Can you see that? Just there. Okay. Well, that's a bit frustrating, but I'm gonna chalk that up to user error because I think I just layered far too many shades. So I'm just gonna take the original Power Up shade and blend out the edges slightly. I'm now going to go into the shade Elixir in the center right here, and I'm gonna put that on my inner corners. So I want to kind of bring something else to this look. Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna try and keep that on the inner corner and not like super blend it into the peachy shades, since they are like opposites on the color wheel. I was planning on doing some graphic liner today with this makeup look, so I think I'll be able to cover the slight patchiness. This Elixir shade is layering really nicely, and I'm gonna go back in to Player 2, very small amount, just to put that on the inner portion of the lid and on the lower lash line, just to make sure that there's no like gap between the two. Just gonna re-intensify that outer edge. So yeah, like it's doing it to this eye, but this eye is fine. Okay, honestly, so far, a little bit annoyed that the outer edge, it's like now all of that is just kind of patching away. So yeah, I'm gonna hope that that is user error. Okay, I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup off camera and we will do some like final first impression thoughts towards the end. Okay, so I am back and this is the completed look. I added some graphic liner as well and the other makeup details if you're curious. In my waterline, I have the Lethal Gel Liner in Analog. Graphic liners are from Glisten. Freckles, Kimchi Chic Fake Freckle product. Mascara is the NYX Worth the Hype. The NYX Brow Glue highlight that I'm wearing is from Kaleidos, and this is the Prophecy Multichrome highlighter. And finally for lips, I'm using this new one from Sugarpill actually. This is the Sugarpill, what is it called? Crystal Trinket lip gloss. This was a free gift with purchase with the Sugarpill palette, so there we go. I like how this look turned out a lot. This eye is like, there's no like proper patchiness. I mean, I can see it maybe like, let me get a brush to point it out. I can see like right there it wanting to start patching up, and just here it's, let me come even closer. I know we're really up close and personal, but like I just want you to see like how patchy this eye is. Like, it's so patchy, but like I mentioned, that could just be user error because that normally happens with me. If I layer way too many matte shadows, especially the Sugarpill formula, I find that if you do too many layers, it can do that. So I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed that it's just user error. I mean, that's why this is just a first impressions. This is not a review at all. Despite the patching issue that I have with this eye is completely fine. I did like the shadows that I used. They blended really nicely. I do think that I wish Power Up was a bit brighter, more like Butter Cupcake from Sugarpill, but maybe like a bit more pastel than that. But yeah, patching issue, if it's not user error and it is just the eyeshadow being patchy, then I'm gonna be really disappointed because this shade is really stunning. So I don't think I've seen anybody that has this issue, so maybe it is just me. But anyways, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do let me know, have you guys picked this palette up? Are you planning to? What are your thoughts on it? If you'd like to see more makeup content from me, then you can follow me on my Instagram. It's beautyybyskye right here. I post all my looks there and I'm active on there every single day. If you'd like to support me further, I do have my own business, Rain Cloud Candles Co. We make vegan, cruelty-free, handmade candles in the UK. And we are a small queer-owned business as well. So the link to shop and all the socials will be down in the description below if you'd like to check us out. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you here. And as always, stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.